So now we're back to Imaginary Only. It's been a while, hasn't it? I got swept up in a few other projects in MMD for a little bit, but I'm good and back for now.
She was also procrastinating by playing Minecraft and completely forgot for a moment that she had a YouTube channel for this challenge run. Need I remind you of that?
Oh, okay. To be fair, we can chalk that up as a vacation.
We?
I got you a blue suit, and this is how you treat me?
All right, fine. It was a lovely vacation.
So anyway, today we're mostly going over 2.4. We're skipping ahead to finally get Hunt March, as we mistakenly did not do it the last episode. We're also going to recap the events, since we're skipping the story around a bit to get her, so that we can finally have more imaginary characters. Thank you, Finality's Vision!
You're not going to make this a habit, are you?
No, Professor. This is purely just for March. The next section of this will be after Pinaconi. Except for the events that will give us Jades. What? I need money. Rappa's coming. Which means that I'll have to get into gear and guarantee her, you know.
Yes, I know.
So, 2.4 puts us right back at Space China to host the Sword Masters event. Which is really unfortunate, because I really would have enjoyed digging up asteroid fossils of dead leviathans with Himiko and Welt instead. But no, I guess we gotta do this.
You'd seriously rather have a paleontology lesson?
Well, yeah. Imagine bringing home a skull.
Oh, of course, you immediately jumped to that, and not for the chance to actually learn something.
You're being very catty today.
Well, don't be too disappointed. I'll bring you back something.
Alright, well, I'll take you up on that. Hey, maybe when they add hangouts like in Genshin, we can go to the museum, Professor.
First off, no, you're not getting hangouts, so stop asking. Second of all, well, maybe I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Then I could go to the casino with Aventurine.
No,
Yeah.
You're not.
So we make it onto the docks to fight Yan King fighting off the new enemy that looks like a race of werewolves before we get dragged into a fight with them. And we learn some new mechanics. It turns out they have a handful of new quirks to worry about. The first being Bloodlust. Now, Bloodlust increases their attacks for a set amount of time, as well as contributes stacks to the second mechanic. Overall, it's not that big of a deal. The second mechanic, though, that I mentioned is Moon Rage, which is a phase that they slide into whenever they get a set amount of stacks of Bloodlust. It has a snowball effect to make the other enemies of their faction also go into Moon Rage as well. It has caused their attacks from then on to cause the bleed dot. This is stackable, and can be a serious issue when the fight goes on for too long, even for us who have Adventurine's shields.
Well, color me impressed. You're able to explain these things clearly and concisely. 10 points.
10? Wow.
Don't act so surprised. I'm capable of recognizing credit where credit is due.
Well, anyway, Welt has come back from his excavation with Himiko. Did you bring back anything as a souvenir?
Just a claw.
Oh wow. Where is it?
Back at the Express, it's not like I can carry something like that around.
Oh, right. Leviathan.
I wonder about you sometimes.
Then we find out there's an issue with the IPC at the docking bay, which then we have to go take care of it. To which we come to our friendo,
Brendo?
Scott.
Oh.
Scott was the NPC that caused issues in the previous event with March that we did out of order. So in case you're wondering why he's there in that episode, it's because he shows up here first. So we do the Phoenix Wright negotiation minigame to try to convince him that we're married to Dr. Ratio as a means of getting him to back down.
Excuse me?
Sadly, this doesn't seem to...
Oh, no. You're not just going to drop that here and expect me to say nothing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Either way, we win the debate and get him to reveal what he and the IPC were shipping in from the Intelligentsia Guild. It turns out it's mecha werewolves. Cyborg werewolves? Man, this is sounding more like a B movie more and more. They're elite versions of the previous werewolves that add in a new mechanic called Terror Grip. All that is that it's a delayed fear that can be dispelled by hitting the enemy before it procs. It's not that big of a deal now, but it is AoE and it will come up later, since I didn't read the first time.
Well, at least you admit it. Now that you've acknowledged your shortcomings, are you going to work on them? Ah, I thought so.
We now make it to the interaction we've been waiting on, and that's finally getting March 7th's hunt form to add to our party, finally, before we reach the last part of this episode.
Leave it to me. I won't let you down.
Anyway, now that we have another imaginary support, we can level her and add her to the party. See ya, Welt.
Oh, alright. Bye, March. Try not to annoy Mr. Ratio too much. He already has a lot to deal with.
Hey!
Hey, was that a jab at me? Well then. Before we go down to the prison to interrogate the head werewolf,
I'm going to jail!
Stop that.
as you can imagine, this ends up being more than just a simple phone call, as we find ourselves in the middle of a jailbreak. So now that we've encountered all of those mechanics at least once, like any other video game, they throw them at you all at once in the next fight just to make sure that you were paying attention.
Well, were you paying attention? Ah, what am I going to do with you?
Well, please come back. I didn't level March enough. I'm sorry. Anyway, we didn't really expect to get kicked to the curb like that. So after some food and party reorganization, we went back to beat the fight without too much trouble. We then go on to fight the final fight of this chapter, which ended up being unironically easier than the previous fight.
Most likely because you didn't just gloss over mechanics this time, and also buffed up before heading in.
Well, we did finish up this fight proper. And we now have March, a really nice sub-DPS. The next episode will be about Pinaconi, and the lead up to Aventurine. Aventurine himself will be an entire episode, because, trust me, I'm for certain he will be the wall for this account. However, I do have some cards up my sleeve, if that does occur. And worst comes to worst, Rappa may be the key that we'd be looking for.
You already sound like you're struggling.
You see this? I'm already sweating. I'm getting flashbacks to episode 3 of Imaginary Only.
Oh no, not again.
Either way, I hope you look forward to it. Like, subscribe, or don't. I'll put out a new video sometime sooner than this one, hopefully.